Good morning. I'm happy to see you in person or at a later date. I'm going to read briefly just two little pieces from the Radiance Sutras. So this is Sutra 73. Just as desire leaps up and you perceive the flash, the sparkle, quit from its play and maintain awareness in that clear and shining place from which all desire springs. So this is to inspire us to take pleasure in our yoga practice, in that clear and shining place from which all desire springs. And here's another one. Beloved, reject the reality of everything. Deny the universe of appearance. Say no to the phenomenal world. Reside in the secret place inside. As joy rises in the heart at this sudden freedom, enter there and dwell. So I'm just using this as prompts for us to think about our yoga practice and how we can, in fact, move inside. And I know you're having very smoky days in Toronto, and I'm very sympathetic. But we can dwell inside for a few minutes anyway. So I'd like to invite you to come onto your mat, onto your hands and knees, and we're going to do some warming movements and shapes so that we'll really invite our body to open up for the day. So I'm just pressing into my hands and I'm pressing into my feet. I'm actually using my toes here. I'm stretching my toes at this moment while I'm in this tabletop position. And I'm lifting up my knees, and then I'm lowering them down. And once again, I'm pressing into my hands and lifting up my knees and lowering them down. Now, if your wrists are sore, you could go down into this kind of position on your forearms and just lift your knees up. This is also a very nice little movement at the very beginning of a class, just to get you interested in your bodily postures. And then I'm going to come back up onto my knees, onto my hands rather, and lift my legs up and off of the floor. Okay, now I'm going to come back into, I'm going to lower my toes down and on so that the front of my foot is on the floor, and just move back into a child's pose and stretch my arms out here. Feel the beautiful opening, and you can really stretch your arms out so that your shoulders come up to your ears here, and then you can move your shoulders back down your back. And once again, you can stretch your fingers out and then pull your shoulders back down so that they move into your back like wings. And I'm going to walk my hands over to the right, and I'm going to stretch them out towards the right. And I'm going to try and maintain a consciousness of my left hip reaching towards my foot so that my buttock is actually working on the ground so that we're not lifting our left hip up. And I'm going to move to the other side towards the left and stretch out once again. And move back towards the center. And we're going to just lift up once again into tabletop, and we'll do some cat and cow here. So the cow is mooing here with our back arched. And here we are exhaling as we move up into cat. And we're inhaling as our chest is open and shining towards the wall. And now we're moving up again. And then we are inhaling and exhaling and inhaling, exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. And now we're going to turn our toes in, and we're going to stretch up onto our toes and lift our hips high, and then just lower our heels any amount, whatever feels good. And we are going to walk our feet out a bit and press into our hands at the same time. Now, as we're walking, we're realizing that yoga is very oppositional in its tenets, in its tendencies. So we're pushing into the hands at the same time we're lifting the sit bones up, and we're feeling the energy rise in our legs, from our heels right up to our sit bones. And we are going to bend forward on our toes and lower down, and then we're going to lift up again and lower our heels down. We're going to stand on our tiptoes, lower our knees down, and then we're going to raise them up, our hips up, and lower our heels down. Good. Okay. And we're just going to lift our right leg up, and we're going to move it forward somewhere in between our hands, and we're going to lift our left leg between our hands, and we're going to just hang suspended in a forward bend here for a moment. And you can, of course, keep your knees bent, and that is perfectly fine. You can keep your knees bent, and then you can stretch one of them up and the other to straighten them out, or you can just leave them bent, whatever feels good. And we'll just roll up, and we will stand in Tadasana. We'll stretch our arms up above our heads, and we can look up at our hands. We can stretch our fingers out, and we're going to lower our hands down to our side. We're going to really feel Tadasana at this moment. And we're going to imagine that our feet have 3 of those little sticky Velcro things, one on the heel and one on the toe mound of the big toe and one on the toe mounds of the other toes, so that they're kind of evenly spaced. And we're just going to stretch our toes out on the ground here, so that we've got them really like little frog toes here. And I've just got my body feeling like incredible grounding here. And at the same time, I'm feeling my chest open up and my shoulders move back and down into my body. And I'm just letting I'm shaking my hands a little, just to allow gravity to have a little bit of play here. And so I'm feeling really this double movement, grounding in the lower body, lifting in the upper body. And I'm just going to move my neck to one side, to the right side, right shoulder, neck to the left shoulder, neck to the right shoulder, neck to the left shoulder. And I'm going to lift my shoulders up, and I'm going to drop them. My shoulders up and drop them. I'm going to drop my chin to my chest, and I'm going to lift my chin up and drop my chin to my chest. I'm exhaling here, lift my chin up, and then drop it. And I'm going to go once again to the one side and roll it over to the other side, one side and the other side, so that any strain that you have in your neck is gone now. And we're going to now, with that beautiful opening, we're going to do our sun salutation, Surya Namaskara A. So we're going to stand in Tadasana. We're going to raise our arms up, look up, inhaling, exhaling, fold over, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down and back into plank here. And we're going to lower down. Exhale. Inhale into upward dog or cobra, whichever you like. And back into downward dog, exhaling. we'll just stay here for 5 breaths. We're just going to really feel the, once again, the heels, the feet are grounding, the hands are grounding, and the hips are lifting up. And your neck should be really relaxed here, and there should be no strain in your neck at all. And now we're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And we're going to lift our right leg up and bring it forward between our hands and bring our back leg forward so that we're in a forward fold again. And now we're going to come up and lower down, exhaling. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back into plank. And we're going to just stay here for a moment in plank. We're going to feel the strengthening in our body, just as we stay here. And we'll feel the core of our body. Really, we can feel that one of my teachers calls our interior body organs jewels. So we can feel the jewels. We can feel our core. We're lifting our jewels up towards our spine. So we're lifting our belly button into our spine as we're here. And if you get tired, come down into child's pose. But for the moment, it's really good to try and strengthen our core. And now we're going to lower down. Now you can lower down knees, chest, chin if you like. I'm going to lower down in chaturanga, but it's as you wish. So I'm going to lower down quite slowly here. And then I'm going to press back, first of all, into a cobra, just a low cobra here. I'm just really, I can tense my buttocks here. I can press my pelvis into the ground, point my toes in the back, and now I can push up, if I like, into an upward dog, turning my toes under. And once again, using this as an opportunity to strengthen our core and to pull our belly button into our spine. And I'm just inhaling and exhaling here and maintaining this isometric pose, which is very good at strengthening our bodies. And now I'm going to push back into downward dog, exhaling. And I've got my feet here. And I'm just inhaling and exhaling. I'm actually panting a bit because it's a lot of strengthening movement. And I'm inhaling and exhaling and slowing my breath down to calm myself. So the Radiance Sutras are focused, one of them that I read is about desire and that movement towards the spark that really inspires us to appreciate what we have and where we are, in spite of the difficulties we may encounter. And I like that idea of desire as a movement towards, because it's something that we can always imagine ourselves doing. We don't arrive necessarily, but we're on our way. Okay, and now I'm going to just lift my left leg up, and I'm going to put it between my feet, and I'm going to move my right leg forward into a forward fold and hang suspended here. And we're lifting up with a big inhalation, and we are looking up, feeling our feet grounded, feeling the upper part of our body rising up. Inhaling and exhaling here. Inhaling and exhaling. And then opening our arms up. And once again, standing in Tadasana. And we might find our body is a bit looser now, and our Tadasana is feeling a bit more natural. Okay, we're going to do another sun salutation, a little bit faster. Inhale, up, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, down. Right leg back, left leg back, plank. And now we're lowering down and into our upward dog with an inhalation, and then back into our downward dog with an exhalation. And we're lifting our right leg up and bringing it forward, left leg forward, exhalation as we are forward bending, and then all the way up, inhaling and down. Now the other side. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank. Exhale, down into our upward dog and inhalation. Exhale, back into downward dog. Left leg up and inhale. Forward fold, exhale, and inhale all the way up, and exhalation. Okay, very nice. Now, we'll just do some standing postures because they're always so lovely. We'll start here actually with pyramid pose, which I really like. It's just you stand, feet together, hands at your side. You step back about 3 feet. It's not a wide stance. And then you can put your hands on your hips here and just tilt forward over your front leg with your front leg straight. So we're just here, and whatever place you arrive at is fine. If you have blocks, you can put them underneath you. And then you can fold over that front leg. You can put your hands on the ground or blocks. And I just want you to feel your hips rising up. I'd like to say just hang over the front, but that's not really it. You're actually drawing your right hip back, and you're feeling the strength in your legs. So you're grounding once again into your feet, and you can actually feel if I tense up my legs, I can feel the energy coursing up towards my buttocks. All right, and here I'm just over top of here, feeling a lovely stretch. Now, if you're up for it, if you have a block here, you can put your block here, or you can put your hand on the ground, and you can try and do a little revolved triangle here. And once again, you're pressing back into your back heel, and you're turning your body towards the back wall and raising your arm up. And here you feel the extension of your torso, so it's not scrunched up. And you're trying to maintain a breath that isn't gasping for air like mine. And once again, I'm moving my front hip, my right hip back, and really feeling this lovely stretch. Okay, and now I'm going to rotate like a windmill if I can. I'm going to press up with my hand and see if I can just rotate like a windmill up, oof, into this posture, whatever that is. So you can get up however you like. All right, now I'm going to go back with the other way. I'm going to do a pyramid. I'll get a block here because I want to make sure everyone knows how it can be made much easier with a block. So it's about 3 feet back, foot on the diagonal, back foot on the diagonal, front foot facing forward. And we're just going to tilt our hips here back, and we're going to just go over top of our leg. Now you can have 2 blocks here if you like, or 1, and you can put it on any level. whatever suits you. And then I'm just going to fold over here. And I'm going to feel once again, the upper body is really just descending and allowing gravity to do its work, while the lower body is actually working. And we are feeling the energy moving into our feet, into the ground, grounding us. And our front hip is moving back. Our legs should be straight here. And now we can leave our hand here on a block and just turn towards the back with the block beside your foot and open your arms up and feel that beautiful twist here. Now, our bodies are not symmetrical, so this is much harder on this side for me. I have to really work my left hip, the front hip, back. And I just have to breathe through my shaking body. And it's a very demanding pose here. And now we're just going to, once again, we can get up however we like. I'm going to try and windmill myself around. Oops. And stand here facing the front of the mat. I'm going to wiggle my feet out a little bit. I'm going to get another block too, just to demonstrate how you can work this. So I've got my feet out, feet parallel, and I'm lifting my upper torso up, my chest is looking up towards the ceiling here so that my breath is open. And I'm going to just dip down here, just forward fold over, and wherever I land is good enough. So if we're here, we've just got our back straight. We might be here, or here, or we could be on the floor. You can tense your fingers and just feel that lovely descent. And you can arrive in a comfortable place here. We're just going to rest here for a minute. You can I'm inviting you to put your hands between your feet, if you can manage that, palms on the ground, and your elbows are bent. And you can use that to provide a little bit of pressure to move forward. Once again, I'm stilling my breath. I'm thinking about desire as a movement towards something you never arrive at. It's a lifelong journey of working towards change, towards a better world, towards a more fruitful garden, and towards a child who has a happy life, a fulfilling life, whatever it is you're working towards. Even when things are gloomy, there's always that desire and movement towards. And now we're going to walk our hands over to our right straight leg, and I'm just holding onto my ankle, and I'm pulling my head down towards my leg, and I'm walking out towards the left. And this might be a bit too much, in which case you can still remain on your box. And now I'm going to turn my right leg out and bend it. And now I can really feel this lovely opening in my groin. And you can do different things here. I'm not quite sure what you do here, but we can just, I'm just feeling a real stretch here. And then I'm turning that foot in. I'm moving the other way towards the other foot. And I am stretching out here. You could put your forearms down if you can manage, and really use that to stretch your inner groin out. And then you can come back, feet to the front. You can wiggle your feet in, put your hands on your hips, and inhale, come up. Good. Now we'll just come into our Tadasana again. And in Iyengar, what you do is you actually jump out to a we could try that because it's interesting to see where you arrive. So you can lift your arms up, so your elbows are pointed out, and then you can just take a little leap out so that your feet go out. And it's an interesting way. I think it's interesting just to do that every once in a while to see where your feet arrive. What is a sort of natural place for you to arrive? And then you turn your right foot out and bend your knee. And I'm wiggling my foot out so that my knee is at right angles. And my thighs are just lifting up and rotating back, externally rotating here. My arms are lifting up, energy moving out my fingertips. Someone is pulling at the hairs on the very tip top of my head, and I feel my body extending up, while my torso extending up, while my legs are moving down and grounding themselves. We're going to extend our right arm out, and we can just drop our arm down here to our thigh if we like, or we can move it further down behind our leg, and then extend our arm out. And we can, so we've got this lovely diagonal, this energy moving from our back, outer edge of our foot into our fingertips as we turn our chest towards the ceiling. And we can plant our foot into the ground, and that can allow us to turn a little bit more towards the ceiling. And we're just breathing here, imagining this is very relaxing, which of course it really isn't at this point, because it's a lot of corporeal labor. All right, now we're going to lift up, push up, and we're coming back into triangle here, and I'm just going to tip with my leg straight, knee straight, tip my arm over and drop my hand down to my shin and lift my other leg up. And here I'm trying to extend both sides of my torso out. So you can look up to your hand in this triangle pose. And once again, you are keeping the weight evenly on your feet, and you're lifting up as much as you are. You're not so much weighing down into your front arm, you're really lifting up. And now we're going to come up here. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to move into Virabhadrasana 2, bending our front knee and pressing into Warrior 2. Good. And we're feeling once again that energy moving out our hands, the little hairs on the tip top of our head moving up. And we feel our thighs opening out. Okay, and now we're going to do a side movement, stretching out, stretching out, dropping our hand down there and reaching our upper arm out so that we're on the diagonal. And once again, you can move further down. You can have a block here on the outside or the inside, and really feel the opening out of your chest, which is quite hard to do, but you're working on it. It's a lifelong project. We've got, fortunately, longer lives than we had before, so imagine our yoga practice when we're 95. It's going to be fantastic. All right, and now we're going to push up and come up into a triangle. I'm moving my feet in a bit because they're a bit too far apart, and stretching out, dropping our hand down and stretching our upper arm out and up. And opening out. And once again, I'm just going to keep let's just stay here for a moment and feel once again the opening of our thighs out here. And we can lift our arms up, stretching up,
We can lift our shoulders up and then we can move them down our back. Lift our shoulders up and move them down our back. Open them out. And now I'm going to just wiggle my feet in and stand into Dandasna. All right. I feel some heat, some tapas in my body, the fire god Agni moving through me. And we're going to go down onto the floor and do some core exercises. So here we go. We're just going to get down on the floor however we like and move on to our belly. We're going to do some locusts and a bow, I think. So I'm putting my forehead into the mat, and I have my hands underneath my shoulders, and my feet are flat on the ground, and I'm just lifting up into a low cobra here. But I'm lifting my hands off of the ground and allowing my back to strengthen. And I'm inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now I'm coming down, forehead into the mat. And I'm going to stretch my arms out so that the back of my hand is flat on the floor. And they're at my side. And I'm just going to lift my shoulders up and then drop them down. My head is still on the ground. Shoulders up and drop them down. Shoulders up and then drop them down. And now when I lift my shoulders up, I'm going to lift my head up. I'm going to lift my hands up so that they are floating beside me and up. And if I have energy at all, I'm going to lift my feet up, my legs up. And you really feel the pelvis moving into the ground. And you feel that really grip into your buttocks that allows you to use the strength of your buttocks to lift your legs up. And I'm just lifting my chest up a little bit more, and then I'm going down. And I'll try that one more time. Lifting my shoulders up, my head up, and my feet up. And I am stretching and stretching and stretching, feeling the strength in my back and feeling that my toes pointing, my legs energized. And now I'm going to come down. Now we're going to work into a bow, if you have that in you. And I'm just going to lift my right leg up, bend my knee, and I'm going to hold on to my ankle. And I'm just going to stay here and press my pelvis into the ground because that stretches your front thigh a little. And you can stretch your foot out and feel one side of your body lift up, but you have to keep your pelvis pressing into the ground. You don't want any pain in your lower back at all. And now we're coming down, and I'm pulling my foot into my buttock here, which is a stretch in the front thigh. And then I'm going to let go of that foot. I'm going to try the other one. So I once went to an ashram, and the Swami kept saying, no pain, no gain, which is sort of true in yoga because sometimes you do stretch things, but you don't want an inordinate of pain, and you don't want pain in your knees or your lower back. So we're just stretching here, stretching out my foot on one side, and I can feel my chest coming up on one side. And now I'm going to come down. Now, we're just going to hold on to both of our feet, or ankles rather, and we can keep our legs moving together. And I'm going to kick up and extend my legs out and feel this beautiful stretch where you can breathe deeply. And once again, I'm just pressing my heels out as I lift up. And I'm breathing. And now I'm just going to pull my feet back into my buttocks and feel once again a stretch in my front thighs here. And then I'm going to drop my feet down I'm going to make a pillow with my hands, and I'm going to put my hand on one side on another. Okay. Now we're going to come up into child's pose. Here we go. And have a little rest. And we're going to come back down onto our belly. And we're going to tint our fingers out underneath our elbows. And I'm going to just invite you to lift your right leg up and turn your torso out, dropping your toes towards your left. So this is a lovely twist here. And we're just going to rest here. And now I'm going to put that leg down. And I'm going to lift my left leg up, pointing my leg, and then bending my knee, dropping my foot down towards the right. And you can feel your body twisting and opening up here. And I'm going to move down. And we'll try it once more on the other side, lifting the right leg up and twisting towards the left. And you can move your finger, your toe towards your elbow, and then dropping your leg down. And we're going to do it one more time here, over the other way. And do a nice twist. And then we're going to come down. All right. Now we're going to push back into our hands and knees, and I'm going to move onto my back, and we're going to do a bridge. Rolling down, bent knees, and you're back on the floor. Your arms are at your sides. They should be quite relaxed here. And I'm just catching my breath for a minute, just resting here. You can bring your knees into your belly, give them a bit of a squeeze, and you can feel your lower back extending. Now we're going to drop our legs down, and we're going to just feel our shoulders moving down our spine. We can hang onto the mat, or we can move our shoulders underneath us. We're going to just tip our tailbone up and roll it up, and then we're going to roll it down. We're going to tip our tailbone up and roll it up, and then we're going to roll it down. Tip our tailbone up, roll it up, and this time we're going to clasp our hands and roll our shoulders underneath and feel the full extension of this pose, the bridge, which our knees are moving towards the opposite wall, our pelvis is moving up, our chest is moving up, and we can feel really deep space for breathing here in the front body, in the side body, and we can even breathe into the back body. We're just staying here for a few moments, once again feeling the benefit of isometric exercise where you hold them for a long period of time or a longer period of time. And now we're extending my arms out and rolling down. And once again, we'll do it one last time. Lifting up, arms clasp underneath us. You can clasp with the opposite way and see what that does to your shoulders. And in this moment, I'm going to lift my right leg up, bend my leg, lift it up, point my foot, bend my knee, and place my foot down. Lift my left leg up, bend my knee, point it up with the heel, point my foot, heel again, bend my knee, and put it down. And in this moment, I'm going to just really feel the lift again in my buttocks and in my chest. And I'm extending my arms out now and rolling down. There we go, exhaling. And we can just move into happy baby pose. We can grip our shins, or we can grip the outer edge of our feet and extend our knees out and feel this lovely counter pose to the bridge. Very nice. All right. So I'm just going to stretch out here for a moment, because we're going to come back up and do a few seated exercises before we actually move towards final relaxation. So I'm just going to roll up, or you can come up on your side, and I'm going to get my strap, actually, which I forgot to get at the beginning of class. So here's my strap, and I'm going to sit on a little blanket, a small one, underneath my hip. And that helps me lift my hips up a little bit, which is good for you. You can also sit on a block if you like. And I'm extending my feet out here. I have my strap around the arches or the balls of my feet, and I'm feeling the extension of my heels. And I'm up. This is Dandasana. And now I'm going to move forward with a straight back and see how far I can get. It's actually not very far with a straight back, but I'm just going to stay here for a moment and feel the lovely extension of my legs. There's energy moving out my heels, and there should be energy you should be lifting up with your chest as you move forward here. And now when I reach sort of the end of my movement forward, I'm just going to round my back and feel myself fold over my legs. And here you could hang on to your toes, or you could be up here hanging onto your strap and folding over. Eventually, if you're like PKS Iyengar, your hands will be long enough and you'll be blessed with long arms. And you can actually stretch one arm out and grab your wrist of your hand from the other side of your feet. So this has escaped me thus far. And we are folding over and breathing here, inhaling and exhaling and thinking of the spark of life. And now we're going to sit up. We're going to bring our right leg in to a kind of seated tree pose here. And we can, here we're going to just feel our body twist slightly towards the left, so that this is actually a little bit of a twist and a forward bend. And you can hold on to the strap if you like, both straps if you like, or you can hold on to the outer edge of your foot and feel the twist as you move down. And now I'm going to come up and do the same thing on the other side. Bending my left knee like into a kind of tree pose and extending forward and holding onto the outer edge of my foot here. And I'm just folding forward as I move forward. Well, once again, you can be using your straps. You can use both arms if you like. and inhaling, sitting up. And we will now just sit with our feet out. We are going to bend our right knee and lift our foot over our left thigh. And you can keep this leg out if it's more comfortable, or you can fold it in. And we're going to do this lovely half king pigeon or whatever it's called. We're going to stretch our, in my case, my right knee is lifted, my left arm that goes up, and I'm going to turn my body around here and just use my outer edge of my upper arm as a lever to give me more turning power. And my right arm is pressing into the ground so that my body's moving forward, moving up. And now we're going to turn around and I'm going to extend my legs out again. I'm going to lift my left leg up around the side of your leg and lift my right arm up, pressing my left hand into the ground and turning my torso, turning, and then dropping my arm down to use as a lever here. And I have my leg extended out this time on this foot, on this side. But you can, of course, bend your leg in if you like and twist. Just inhaling and exhaling into this pose and feeling my torso lift up as it turns slowly towards the back of the room. And now I'm moving back into the front of the mat. And we're going to do some core exercises here. We're going to go back onto the ground and roll down. And we're going to just lift our legs up, point our toes, wiggle our feet. And then we're going to come up onto our elbows here. And we're going to do a boat pose. So I'm just on my elbows here. I'm going to come up a little bit further, but I'm tilting back here. Got my arms out, and I'm going to lift my right leg up and down. My left leg up and down. And now I'm going to lift both legs up and see if I can hold here for a moment. And here you feel your arms are straight, your back is straight. You want your legs to be straight. And this is really good for your core. So whatever you can do here, you might have one leg up, another leg up, and you might come down whenever you like. I'm just going to try and stay here for a few moments and really feel the isometric work in my core. And now I'm going to bend my knees and I'm going to just hold on to my knees and give myself a nice squeeze, a nice hug. We've had a demanding practice today, but a lovely one. And we're going to go back into boat pose because once is never enough. Okay, here we go. Lifting our legs up. We can have one at a time if you like, or both. And I think the lower you go, the worser and worser it gets. But anyway, here we are. Inhaling and exhaling, really trying to feel the strength in our body. And we're trying to keep our breath even as possible. There shouldn't be strain in your lower back. And we're going to bend our knees and bring it in. And once again, I'm just going to embrace my knees, my overworked old knees, and give myself a little squeeze. Good work, Janice. Excellent work. A pat on the shin. Okay, and now we're just going to roll down into our final movements here, onto our back, lifting our knees up, and just letting the weight of our legs open our lower back onto the floor, so that our sacrum is on the floor. Sacrum is the kind of the lowest part of your spine. It's a kind of flat, bony part. And you can feel it settling into the floor with the weight of your legs over it. And now I'm just going to put my feet down here just so that I can, now you can do, just drop your knees to one side, which is perfectly excellent twist. And we'll just do this first. And I'm stretching the arm out, or the opposite arm out. I'm using in this case, my arms are moving, my knees are moving to the left. I'm using my left hand just to hold on to my knees a bit, keep them down, and I'm feeling both shoulders on the ground, and I'm looking at my outstretched right hand. And now I'm going to lift my knees up, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, dropping my knees down, extending my opposite arm out and looking in that way. And in yoga, we call this this focus, the drishti. And drishti is one of the things that you maintain in your practice, as well as breathing, is that you maintain this notion of focus or drishti. And I'm inhaling and exhaling as evenly as I can. My chest is open here. Both shoulders are on the ground. And now I'm going to move back into the center. This time I'm going to put my feet down and I'm going to shift my hips towards the right, so that when I go over towards the left side, I've got a little bit more torque in the body, and I'm lifting my right knee up, putting it underneath my left, so that when I drop my knees down, there's a little more pressure in the twist here. So this is a bit more advanced. You don't want to do it unless it's comfortable. And then I'm looking once again towards my right hand. And I am really feeling that my left hand wants to move like a clock face. I don't know why, but it does. It seems to be moving out from my body over top of my head. If it's painful, moving your shoulders too painful, then lift your hand up off of the floor. And I am moving it back. And this time I'm going to move my left arm, which is the one that's opposite your knees dropping, and I'm going to move it up and around. I can feel the extension. I can feel the energy in my hand as it moves over. And once again, if you find it painful in your shoulder, just lift your arm up over top of the floor and move it back. And I'm going to do it again. Here I go. One more time. And back again. And you can put the weight of your hand on your outer thigh if you like. And I just like this drifting movement. I think one of my first yoga classes, my teacher Esther Myers in about 1979 had this as the end of her class. And I remember thinking, this is the most wonderful pose because I love the movement of it. And I love the way it opens you at the very end of the class for the rest of your day. Okay, now we're going to just move our hips back into the center with our feet on the floor. And we're going to once again shift our hips towards the left. I'm going to pick up my left leg, bend my knee, put it underneath my right bent knee, and then drop my knees to the floor. And I'm going to put my right hand just gently on my left thigh. And that just gives me a little bit of a sense of this twist movement. And both shoulders are on the ground. I'm moving my left arm around here, and I am moving it towards the other side and back again. And I'm feeling this lovely opening in my shoulder. The stress of any difficult knowledge is drifting away. And now we're going to go
And turn our attention once again to just moving our hips back to the center, uncrossing our legs, feet on the floor, and we can just lay here for a moment. I think I'm going to do a little bit of extending my legs up for a minute, just to feel a lovely inversion here. We're not doing any headstands or shoulder stands in the class, but this will do as an inversion. If you can find a wall and do this, you could have final relaxation in this pose if you like. But we're just going to allow the effects of the inversion. Our heart lower than our legs allows us to feel some good effects of inversion. And now I'm going to extend my legs down. You can leave them up if you like, put them up the wall. And I'm going to move into Shavasana, which is a lovely pose. And it has its own beautiful effects. I'm just wiggling my feet, wiggling my hands. I'm making a fist with my hands, and I'm stretching my fingers out, and I'm wiggling them with a lot of energy in them. And then I'm making another fist and a lot of energy, stretching my fingers out again, and another fist, and then stretching my fingers out again, wiggling them. And then I'm going to drop my hand down. Just relax there, lifting my shoulders up to my ears and bringing them down towards my toes, and lifting my shoulders up again, my ears down towards my toes, and then up towards the ceiling, and then dropping them down. I'm turning my feet around my ankles. I'm lifting them off the floor, pointing my toes, and feeling the real strength in my legs. And then I'm dropping them down. I'm lifting my hips up off the floor and dropping it down. So we're here feeling quite relaxed. We're moving our head from side to side, and we're moving into final relaxation. And I usually read a poem here, but I thought sometimes my daughter sends me these messages and they're just like poems in the everyday. So I asked her what she was doing, and she said, "Oh, I have a few days off. I'm going on my first winter camping trip. No, my first camping trip this season." And the next thing I know, she sent me a photograph of her in a tank top and snowshoes, snowshoeing up some mountain in the snow. And then she said it was so beautiful. The sun was shining, the snow was glistening, and here she is, snowshoeing up a mountain. That's poem enough for me today. And I'm just exhaling and inhaling. It does fill you with delight when you see how human beings, if they're fortunate and if they're energetic, can find such beauty in the natural world. And I'm just inhaling and exhaling. And I have the image of snowshoes and a really warm spring day on a mountaintop somewhere. I'm going to be quiet for a while and just let you drift inside your final relaxation, feeling the release and the silence.
just as desire leaps up and you perceive the flash, the sparkle, quit from its play and maintain awareness in that clear and shining place from which all desire springs. At this moment, you can stay where you are for the rest of the day, or you can wiggle your baby toe, or your big toe, or all of your toes, and your ankles. And you can wiggle your hands, you can shake them out a little. You can feel your knees rise up. You can turn onto one side and tip over and find yourself in a lovely seated place. And at this moment, I want to thank you for brightening my day. I have this painting, my brother did this painting many years ago called Dark Clouds, and it was in the basement because it always depressed me. But now I actually look at it and I think, oh, I quite like the dancing letters, the dark clouds dancing on the dark clouds, because we do have dark clouds now. And I like the playfulness of it. I think that artistic expression where you find play and pleasure, even at the darkest moments, is something to really reflect on. So thank you for spending time with me. Namaste. The teacher in me sees and honors the teacher in you. The student in me sees and honors the student in you. Wishing you a very good day and week ahead.